from the Weather Service has actually trimmed the city of Washington out from the warning, but this does still include just to the edge of South Strabane Township, heading down towards the Greene County line along I-79. So pretty much all of I-79 south out of Washington. So if you're either direction off of I-79 south, you are included inside of this tornado warning here. And again, this goes until 8:30. This is moving east again at about 30 miles per hour or so. The rotation, the signature release that our product here is picking up is some pretty strong rotation. And again, we are seeing our reds and greens here. Again, that's winds towards and away from the radar. What we want to see are the reds and greens next to each other. We really want them touching each other. That's a sign when they're right beside each other, the rotation is strong. You see, if you look very closely and then there's a little bit of gray in between, that's a sign there's a gap in the rotation, which means the whole storm itself is rotating, but it may not be rotating strongly or tightly. It doesn't have a tight couplet there, which is what we want to see as a sure tell sign that there's a tornado. But the storm is rotating. In fact, the warning was issued because the National Weather Service did note that rotation was indicated in the cloud base. So those of you in Claysville, I can go ahead and give you the all clear. That rotation is far enough away from you. Pleasant Grove, this is on and just north of you, eventually heading here towards Chambers Mill, Baker Station, again, then towards I-79. These locations in kind of south central Washington County, if they are familiar to you, you want to be heading into your safe place from this tornado warned storm that is moving east at 30 miles per hour. It at least has a history of producing winds. The winds within this are at least fairly strong. Again, the last scan we had about 40 mile per hour winds. It looks like that's come down just a nudge. They're more about 45 mile per hour winds, now closer to 40. That may be a sign here that our rotation is actually trying to broaden out just a little bit. Again, it's there, but it's not tight. So it may perhaps be a sign that the rotation is broadening out just a bit. But it looks really impressive here on radar, here on reflectivity. Again, if you've in interest in weather, if you've been around severe weather long enough, we always look for a hook, and that's a telltale hook. Now, a hook is only a sign that the storm is rotating. It doesn't mean a tornado is on the ground, but the storm is definitely rotating here in Washington County. So again, this is now southeast of Claysville, south of I-70. Again, the city of Washington, you've been removed from the tornado warning. This should pass south of South Strabane Township, but towards I-79 near Chambers Mill, Baker Station, Pleasant Grove, this is just off to your north here. So these are the areas here, again, that we're watching the tornado warning in Washington County until 8:30 this evening. So let me widen this back out here again for those of you who may either be just tuning in or wondering what's happening in your neighborhood, wherever you may be tuning in from. In the city of Pittsburgh, there's a lot of rain. We're hearing thunder over top our studios here in Wilkinsburg. We have flash flood warnings that are in effect. The severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect in Washington County with this storm has been allowed to expire. That expired at 8:15. The tornado warning, though, remains in effect until 8:30. And at the moment, that is our only active tornado warning. Let me lapse radar for you and show it's been very active here over the last few hours as storms have rolled in across the area. We've seen numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. We've had multiple flash flood warnings that have been in effect as we've moved through the afternoon hours. And one thing that I want to update for you as we updating here on things we're talking about is that the National Weather Service has actually dropped the tornado watch, even though we have an active tornado warning. They have dropped the tornado watch and they have replaced it with a severe thunderstorm watch. This is in effect now until 2 a.m. and this is pretty much everybody Route 22 southward. This does include the city of Pittsburgh, so Allegheny County, Indiana County, Westmoreland, Washington, Fayette, and Greene counties in Pennsylvania, along with Monongalia and Preston counties in West Virginia and Garrett County in Maryland. You are now included in this severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. The tornado watch has been allowed to cancel early by the National Weather Service, but the severe thunderstorm watch now replaces it, and it goes until 2 a.m. Again, even though we have an active tornado warning in Washington and an active tornado warning just off to our southwest in the parts of Ohio and West Virginia, that tornado warning includes the city of Wheeling. So again, for us, the reason we're with you here at about 8:20 now on this Saturday evening is because we do have a tornado warning in effect for Washington County. This is until 8:30. This is the storm that we're watching here that has the potential to produce a tornado. It has, again, had rotation with it. That's why the National Weather Service issued it. Rotation was reported back near Claysville, actually near Valley Grove in particular, and this is moving east at 30 miles per hour. This has passed over Claysville already. This will pass near 84, Green Hills, Amity, Taylorsville, and West Alexander here as we move over the next few minutes. And again, so here's a new scan. Let's take a look back in at the rotation. And again, we're watching for the greens and reds to be beside each other. And you see that it looks like we have one little section here that has gotten a little closer, even though reflectivity doesn't look quite as nice, just to the east of Pleasant Grove. Let me actually zoom in a little closer here on that. So that's right over top of South Bridge Road. If you're familiar with that location, heading eventually towards Park Avenue, Van Buren, over towards Chambers Mill and Baker Station, Condon Crossing, as locations I've mentioned downstream, and then eventually towards I-79. National Weather's, and so again, this was prompted because rotation was shown in the base of the cloud. It looks like the storm is rotating. It looks like the rotation is trying to get a little tighter here with this, so this is something that we want to keep our eyes on, because again, there has been a sign of rotation. Again, it's there. It's very weak. It's small, but again, it's there, and that's reason enough to be concerned with it. So this area right over top of South Bridge Road, just about to be near Van Buren, as this is moving east at 30 miles per hour. So again, if you are south of 70, if you are near I-79, south of the city of Washington, you want to be paying attention to this, as again, this is heading off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. The warning only is in effect for about 8 more minutes. We'll see if the Weather Service decides to extend the warning downstream and to more portions of Washington County, or if they allow this to expire. But for now, it's right near Pleasant Grove is where the rotation is located. If there is a tornado, that's where it would be. And again, this is moving east at about 30 miles per hour. North of where the actual tornado threat would be, near Lagonda, where you see kind of these brighter purples. Let me clear everything off here and focus on that here for just a second. Where you see this kind of purpley color up here, there could be up to golf ball sized hail inside of the storm as well. So this is a tornado and hail threat. Obviously, the tornado one is more dangerous to life and property, but hail is also a big concern, passing kind of just on the southern fringes of the city of Washington. This is making more of a beeline towards South Strabane Township as well. So not only are you worried about heavy rain here that's falling with this and the potential of a tornado here, but also large hail is possible. So if you know somebody who may be out driving in southern portions of Washington County, you may want to give them a phone call. Maybe, hey, you may want to kind of find somewhere to park safely, or at least pull off and park for a moment while this storm passes. And again, winds also at least to about 35, 40 miles per hour, if not stronger within this storm. As again, we've kind of seen it cycle a little bit. It was a little stronger a couple of scans ago. It's a little weaker at the moment, but that doesn't mean that it won't kind of cycle back up again. So this tornado warning again continues until 8:30. There's also a storm back to the southwest that we are going to keep our eyes on as well. That's back into Ohio near Wheeling. That also has a tornado warning on it that we may have to keep our eyes on. As if that holds together, again, that's heading towards Washington and Greene, and there's a tornado warning behind that one as well. That one, though, may end up getting undercut by the time it gets here. That would be towards Greene County. So those of you in Washington and Greene counties, especially south of I-70, we really haven't seen rain here yet today, and so the air is still extremely warm in this part of the area, which is part of why there's at least the threat for severe weather is greatest here. Let me show you where current temperatures are, kind of paint this picture. So in the city of Washington, it's now down to 72. Again, that's because of rain. 76 in Waynesburg. But look at Morgantown, still at 81. Compare that to spots north of the city where everybody's in the 60s from the rain we've seen today. So the severe threat north of the city is pretty much over. It's now kind of these southern areas that have been untapped so far today that have the greatest potential for severe weather, and that's where our current warnings are located. So again, only one locally active tornado warning, that is Washington County here, and that is until 8:30 for the storm that is south of the city of Washington. Again, it is now well off to the south and east of Claysville, was near Pleasant Grove, heading eventually down towards Amity, really between about South Strabane and Amity along I-79, and those locations is where this is going to end up crossing here as we head over, really, again, about the next, about 10 minutes before it gets there, but the warning expires before that point. So we will see what the Weather Service is going to do with that. And actually, the rotation here looks like it's gotten a little weaker. If you look here with me here, so again, we want the reds and greens. You see that here, but you notice it's not as tight together as it once was. It's a little more spread out, and there's a lot more gray in between. That means that as the radar beam is going through the storm, it's picking up winds, then it's missing the winds, and then seeing it again. So that's something that we have to watch. So the Weather Service here has decided what they're going to do next. So they have issued a new tornado warning here. This is for Greene and Washington County, and this goes until, let me grab this sheet here and get it for you. So new tornado warning for Washington County, 9 p.m. Thank you, Josh. So this is a new one until 9 o'clock. So this is a storm that's located 7 miles south of Washington. This is now moving southeast at 25. And it looks like, and the National Weather Service is noting that this tornado is actually on the ground. So they are now going with confirmed tornado in southern Washington County, moving southeast at 25 miles per hour. This, again, tornado and ping pong ball sized hail now is what they are concerned with. So let me kind of get the full warning here in view for you. So here is the new full tornado warning from the National Weather Service. This new one is now for Washington and Greene counties, northern Greene, and then Washington from, again, South Strabane Township southward is included with this. And again, this goes until 9 o'clock. They are indicating that the storm is producing a tornado and is moving to the east at 25. Let's see if we can actually find the debris signature here that they're talking about. It looks like yes. So that's what they're talking about. Let me plop this back on here. So it is this kind of green area back here. That's what we call tornado debris signature, or TDS. The Weather Service knows they found this here. It scans up to about, 4,000 feet. So this tornado has picked up debris and lofted it into the air. The radar has detected it. That's what you're seeing here with this lighter green color. Normally, if there's not anything that's rain or things like that show up here, and this color is red. But where we see a lowering, like this green and yellow we have here, that's a sign of a tornado on the ground. So again, this is now a confirmed tornado in Washington County that is moving southeast at 25 miles per hour. This looks like it's making almost a direct shot towards Amity in southern Washington County along Route 19, and again I-79 as well is where this is heading next. So if you are in these locations, you want to be getting it now definitely to your safe place, as this is a confirmed tornado here that is on the ground. It looks like it is just to the right over top of Van Buren now, towards Baker Station, Conduit Crossing, Mount Herman, and Amity. You guys are all next in line with this. So if you're near Bells Lake Road, if you're near Weir Cole Road, near Pie Ridge Road, Grove Road, again, these are locations, if any of these sound familiar to you, you want to be heading to your safe place. Again, lowest floor, basement if you have it, if not lowest floor, away from exterior walls and windows, as this now is a confirmed tornado. The National Weather Service is going confirmed with the debris tag here in effect until 9 o'clock. So for the next 32 minutes for this storm that is south of the city of Washington. So again, let me kind of perspective you here for those of you in Washington County who may be watching. So the city of Washington, you can see there on your screen right in the middle, the warning is south of you. Vankirk, you're included in this, but again, the tornado part is south of you. This will pass south of South Strabane Township, but not far south along I-79 between South Strabane and Amity. This storm is going to cross probably closer here to Amity coming up in the next about 10 minutes or so. So those of you near Amity, near 10 Mile, Bakers, Mount Herman, Baker Station, again, near Prosperity over top of Van Buren now, you want to be in your safe place. This is now a confirmed tornado on the ground in Washington County. This warning does include Greene County, but we're a little way away from that. And this is northeastern Greene that's included. So again, Washington County south of the city of Washington, you are now included in this tornado warning. So let me go ahead and draw a new storm track here and again get everybody caught up. If you're just tuning in, maybe you're warning your phone just went off receiving a warning. Again, this is where it's now confirmed tornado that is on the ground in Washington County, southeast at 25 miles per hour. Again, I've listed off a lot of locations. Marianna also popping up here. If this holds, this will cross towards, this eventually will move towards Greene County. This will be very close to the Greene-Washington County line, and then eventually this would head towards Fayette County. That's a ways away, though. That's not in the warning yet, but thinking downstream, those of you in western Fayette County from about Brownsville south want to be paying attention to this as well. Those of you in eastern Washington County, south of California, also want to be paying attention to this as well. If you're south of Interstate 70 in Washington County, and especially if you are along I-79 in either direction south of 70, you want to be in your safe place with this, as this is, again, a confirmed tornado in Washington County. that is moving to the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. We do also have a couple of active severe thunderstorm, a couple of active flash flood warnings I want to update you on as well. So we do have the one active flash flood warning that is in Allegheny, Westmoreland, Butler, and Armstrong counties that goes until 11 o'clock. So again, we have some heavy rainfall there. But again, our main concern and the reason that we are with you is this tornado warning that is in effect here in Washington County. This goes until 9 o'clock, and this does include parts of Greene County as well. There was also a severe thunderstorm warning until 9:15 for Indiana County. That storm is located near Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are the primary concern there. Let me show those of you in Indiana County here very briefly. So this is the storm we are concerned with near Clymer, east of Indiana along 422 as you head down towards Cambria County. Where the yellow line ends here, that's the Cambria County line. So 422 impacted here, but especially from Clymer east heading towards Cambria County, winds 60 miles per hour are possible there. So that's the wide picture, but again, the thing that we are now concerned with is the tornado warning for Greene and Washington County. We also could see hail up to 1.5 inches with this storm in Washington County. So very dangerous situation now unfolding in Washington County. Again, south of the city of Washington, south of South Strabane Township, where a tornado warning, a confirmed tornado, is on the ground in south central Washington County, and this is moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. That's the reason that we are with you. So again, that is our focus here for this storm that is in Washington County. Again, has prompted this tornado warning. Again, this is now confirmed by the National Weather Service. It's been detecting debris being lofted. It looks like it's a little elongated. That may just be rotating around the storm, but it's this area here that we're watching here, where you see this drop in colors here. That's debris that's being picked up by the radar that's moving off to the south and east, which if you look here, kind of lines up where we have the actual hook echo. That's the hook here on the back part of the storm that we would be concerned with, of where we would see a rotation. And again, all of this lines up. So these are the tools that we look for when we're looking for to see if there's a tornado. We have rotation. It's broad, but it's there. And you have to remember that the radar is not necessarily looking at ground level. We're probably about 2,000 or 3,000 feet up at this point in Washington County. So we're looking more in the mid-levels. Rotation is there. Check. That's one thing we look for. We look at reflectivity. We look for a hook echo. That's there. That's a sign of rotation. Check. And then we look to see, is debris being lofted? And we are seeing that. So all of these ingredients are checked off the box, which is why the National Weather Service has decided to confirm this. Again, they originally had a report of rotation in the storm. We're now seeing that debris has been lofted up into the sky from the storm. And so this is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground here in Washington County, again, until 9 o'clock. So this is heading right towards Amity. Mount Hermon, you're under the gun now, but if you are in Amity and West Amity, you need to be in your safe place. This is heading right for Highway 19. So kind of where we see our yellow and blue kind of blobs here. This area here, that's a sign that debris is lofted. So our tornado is sitting somewhere back in here. And if we look at the other features of the storm, basically in this port right back here, that is where our tornado is located. So this is heading right for Mount Hermon, West Amity, and eventually towards Amity and Highway 19. That's where this is going. So you need to be in your safe place in this portion of Washington County now. That's where our tornado is located. It is heading in your direction. And again, it is on the ground. We are seeing signs from the radar that it is in fact on the ground. So you need to take this seriously and be in your tornado safe place. Again, if you're not sure where that is, if you have a basement, that's where you want to go. If you don't, lowest floor of your house, away from exterior walls and windows, that's probably a bathroom or a closet. That's where you want to be with this. Again, to try and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible to protect yourself from this storm. But again, we do have this storm that is now moving right over top of Mount Hermon, heading towards Amity along Route 19 in Washington County, again, with this tornado that is confirmed from the National Weather Service with this warning that, again, goes until 9 o'clock. So, again, this is south of Washington, city of Washington. This tornado is not a threat to you. In fact, even the hail is south of you. Everything that you see here that's kind of in this bright purple, that's hail, and that could potentially be up to about golf ball size. So the hail was something serious as well, but the tornado is our primary concern here. So Again, in fact, it's rotating very strongly here. So, and the National Weather Service also, let me get this warning across here because this is the same locations that we're talking about. So they've issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette and Westmoreland County for a storm. This is for a storm that's east of this one. So let me reset that as well because we have a lot of warnings now firing in. So I want to try and keep everybody updated here. So Indiana County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 9:15. 60-mile-per-hour winds, your primary concern. Now for Westmoreland and Fayette counties, you have a severe thunderstorm warning also until 9:15. This storm is located near over top of Mount Pleasant, also moving east at 25. 60-mile-per-hour winds, your primary concern as well. So this is south of Youngwood, south of Greensburg and Salem. It is right over top of Mount Pleasant. Again, this is heading off to the south and east. Eventually, this will head off towards Seven Springs, but right along the Fayette-Westmoreland County line, right along the turnpike is where this is heading. So eventually heading over towards Donegal, next in line with this. So that's where this one is going. This is a wind threat here. But again, so we have two severe thunderstorm warnings. Both are until 9:15. And then our tornado warning until 9 o'clock for a confirmed tornado in Washington County from this thunderstorm that is south of the city of Washington and moving southeast at about 25 miles per hour. And in fact, it looks like our rotation's tightened up just a bit. Again, right near Amity. Again, this is right about Highway 19. And I-79 is right where this is sitting. So kind of the leading edge of where this rotation is where this storm is moving. So again, we've been mentioning Amity here for the last couple of minutes. You towards I-79, eventually towards Bakers, Lone Pine, 10 Mile. You're next in line here. You need to be in your safe place with this tornado as it continues moving off to the east. There is still a debris signature right over top of I-79. That's a little ahead of where the storm is actually located. So it's not fully co-located. But again, that's the same area here that we're talking about. Where I have circled here is where our tornado, if it's on the ground still, signs indicate that it still is. This is where it's located. So let me go ahead and pull to kind of clear everything off. And where we see these red colors here on our rotation tracker, that's most likely where it is. Where the strongest signs, we kind of strip everything else out, where the strongest signs of rotation are located. And that's right over top of Highway 19 and I-79, right in portions of near Amity Township, Amity in Washington County. That's where this is located. So this is our greatest threat right here near Lone Pine, Bakers, Amity, east of Mount Herman, West Amity. You're right on the edge of this. Again, this will kind of continue moving off towards the east, southeast here at about 25, 30 miles per hour. But the danger is, again, this rotation here, this tornado potentially still on the ground, and the signs from the radar indicate that it still is. So again, I was talking about a checklist a little earlier, things we look for hook echo. It's a little more convoluted now. It's likely becoming rain wrapped as a lot of rain is down in here, so it's a little harder to find, but we still have a sign that there may be something here. So it's like question mark check. We still have rotation here, and honestly, this rotation is actually probably the strongest, the best at least, that we've seen so far today. Again, right near I-79 now, between Lone Pine and Bakers. So again, the red and green are now in contact with each other. We call that a couplet. And for a while, we've seen the red and green apart, but the fact that we're seeing these now together is a strong sign that the rotation is still there and that the rotation is strong. So that is something, again, to keep in mind with this. So let's see, so we still have the funnel cloud report to see if there's anything new from the National Weather Service. Let's see, in East Findlay Township, this looks like about ping pong to golf ball size hail has also fallen from this. So again, this is a big hail producer and also a tornado threat as well. Now we have a new tornado warning coming in. So let me grab that and kind of reset here and take a look at that, because this is now for it looks like they're reissuing it here for Washington and Greene counties, kind of re-justifying the warning here. And this goes still until 9 o'clock. It looks like they now have downgraded from the confirmed to just a regular tornado warning. So you see two flashing boxes here. The purple flashing, that's the confirmed tornado warning. The red flashing is a regular tornado warning, which was what the Weather Service just issued. So it looks like an update here to our tornado warning. This is now located 8 miles southeast of Washington, or 9 miles south of East Washington, 9 miles southeast of Washington, moving east at 25. Tornado and golf ball sized hail have been reported with this. So again, I just mentioned we had a golf ball sized hail report, and the Weather Service is mentioning that now in the updated warning. So again, tornado main threat, but north of where the tornado is a big hail threat, and that hail threat looks like it's heading right for Kochberg in Washington County. And if the storm holds on its track, the hail would also end up falling towards California as well, and the Penn West California campus. So that's where the hail threat is going. The tornado threat looks like it should pass just south of that as it's moving over top now of Amity, again, Bakers and 10 Mile, heading towards, eventually towards Marianna. So that's where this is moving. So let me go ahead and put another storm track on since we have a new update, and I haven't done that here in a minute, just kind of keep you updated. So we'll put about right towards the edge of the storm again. This is moving east-southeast at about 25 miles per hour. So again, Marianna, you're next in line here in about 10 minutes. Deemston at about 8:58, right as this warning comes to expiration. That's getting a little closer towards the Mon River and the Fayette County line. So again, we are south of Washington, south of South Strabane. We're south of Bentleyville. Those of you in Bentleyville, along I-70, you're south of where the tornado was actually located. You are included in the warning, but the tornado will pass south of you. What may end up impacting you, though, is the hail. Again, we have golf ball-sized hail being reported out of this storm. So this is not only is this potentially a tornado maker, a prolific hailer as well, as hail up to golf ball size has been reported. That was reported in East Findlay Township a few minutes ago. And so it looks like, she's updating for the Weather Service here. So based on what they've seen debris lofted to about 8,000 feet with this storm so far. And they've noted that they are going to be doing a damage survey when this passes, so that's likely tomorrow. But they are saying that this is likely as a confirmed tornado, and the debris has been lofted 8,000 feet by the radar has detected from this tornado. So again, a very dangerous situation continuing to unfold here in Washington County. This threat is now along I-79, sliding southeastward at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So that is continuing. Again, this is our main threat, this tornado warning here until 9 o'clock for east central Washington County. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'll clear our storm track off here and kind of zoom out a little bit and give you an idea here for Washington County, kind of get you centered on where this is. This does technically include northern Greene County, although this will end up passing close to the border. This may stay more on the Washington County side, but northern Greene County, you are included, but the threat is not there for you yet. But we do also have, actually, we do have okay, so here we have a new report here. As of 6 minutes ago, National Weather Service is reporting near Farmer Lane in South Franklin Township, reporting a tornado touchdown. A barn was leveled and trees are down, and fire has been dispatched. So we are now confirming that a tornado has touched down. We have that with radar already, but the Weather Service is reporting now they have a damage report of a confirmed touchdown of a tornado in South Franklin Township. A barn was destroyed and trees are down off of Farmer Lane in South Franklin Township. And so, in fact, Washington County 911 is reporting that to the National Weather Service. So they're checking out any more damage there, but we have a confirmed report of a barn destroyed and trees down in Franklin Township, Washington County. So again, this is now a confirmed, not only has this been confirmed, it's now confirmed this did touch down. Not only did the radar detect it, but it has now been confirmed by damage that has been relayed from 911 in Washington County that this tornado has touched down in Franklin Township at least. And this storm continues moving off to the south and east. So again, Amity now under the gun along I-79. Those of you again in Bakers, you're up next here, 10 Mile. Bissell, you're also next up with this as the storm is moving off to the south and east. Rotation is still there. Again, we want to see the red and green together. In fact, this is right between Bakers and Lone Pine now. 10 Mile looks like you're going to end up missing this just to your north. But again, this as it holds together looks like it's heading towards Marianna and Deemston if this can hold together as it heads towards eastern parts of Washington County. So again, confirmed damage report in Franklin Township, Washington County, South Franklin Township, Washington County. A barn and trees are also down in the air. 911 fire has been dispatched for more damage report to survey the damage there. So that is confirmed. Now the question is, again, if you're in this area, you want to be taking your safety precautions, as this now has a history of producing a tornado that the radar detected and is now confirmed by touchdown. And this is, again, moving off towards the east at about 25 miles per hour. So, again, this will pass very near, perhaps just north of Marianna, heading towards Deemston, eventually towards Ritchieville here in the next about 10 to 15 minutes as we approach the end of the current warning, which, again, goes until 9 o'clock. So let me reset this. Again, let me kind of zoom out a little bit. Let me clear everything off here. So this tornado warning, again, goes until 9 o'clock for Washington County. If you're just tuning in with us, we have a lot of rain across the area. There are a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Our main concern, though, is the tornado warning that's in Washington County. Good news, we were talking earlier, there was a tornado warning back for Wheeling. That looks like that has either been canceled or allowed to expire. So those of you in Greene County not near where this tornado is crossing are looking better compared to what we were seeing earlier. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is for Westmoreland and Fayette County. That is until 9:15. Indiana County until 9:15. Severe thunderstorm warning, flash flood warning for Allegheny, Butler, Armstrong, and Westmoreland counties. That goes until 11 o'clock. And then our confirmed tornado report, our confirmed tornado warning that goes until 9 o'clock for Washington County. And again, we're probably now really honestly a little too early to say if they'll extend this downstream because we do have damage reports tied to this. And it still looks like we have some rotation here. So again, here's a look at the winds inside the storm. Again, we want to see the red and greens together. Looks like we're starting to separate that back out a bit. Now, that doesn't mean that the storm is fully weakening. Tornadoes have a pattern or like to oftentimes cycle, which means that they'll get really strong and then they'll look like they're weakened and broaden out and they get really strong again. But the tornado could still be on the ground with this. So this is still something to take seriously, especially because we do have confirmed damage reports out of this. So we still do have rotation and not looking as good as it did earlier, but we still do have rotation with this. The debris tracker, we saw debris being lofted earlier. The Weather Service says up to at least 8,000 feet does not look as good either. So these are signs that perhaps we are starting to finally see some weakening with this, as again the rotation is broadening out a bit. That's why you see some gray coloring, what's now purple because of the warning in the background, between the red and the green. That's a sign that the rotation is broadening. Think of an ice skater when you're roller skating, when you're on the ice, right? When you want to spin really fast, what do? You tuck everything in. And you start spinning faster. When you want to slow down, you stretch back out. And so that's what's here. The winds are stretching back out. So it's a sign the rotation is slowing, and it makes it harder for the tornado to actually maintain itself and stay in contact with the ground. So that's a good sign. That's something that we want to see. And we are seeing improved, look, actually a new scan just said improved weakening from the winds with this. Again, that doesn't mean the tornado is off the ground, but it is a sign that perhaps it is starting to weaken and is lifting. We were seeing debris earlier. We're now not seeing that being lofted here with debris tracker. That's another good sign. And then when we look at reflectivity, we're not seeing the hook as well defined anymore. In fact, this looks like the rain is starting to undercut it a little bit, and so that's a good sign. The Weather Service has just updated the warning, and they've trimmed Greene County out of the tornado warning. So Greene County, you are now officially dropped. Again, I told you that the storm would probably stay north of you anyway, and the Weather Service is confirming that. They have trimmed the inner tornado warning out of Greene County, so it is now only Washington County until 9 o'clock. Greene County, you've been trimmed from that. And again, this is still a storm that is capable of producing a tornado if one is not still on the ground with this here in Washington County. Again, we are south of Interstate 70 as a reference point. We are well south of that. In fact, we're actually south of 40 as well in Washington County. We are southeast of the city of Washington. We are east of I-79. So those of you west of I-79, you're in the clear. If you're near the city of Washington, you're in the clear. If you're along I-70, you're in the clear with this. You're included in the warning, but the tornado threat is well south of you. So you're in the clear. The concern, again, is those of you near Bakers, 10 Mile, and sliding towards Marianna and Deemston. You're next in line here with this warning that lasts for another 12 minutes. Again, this does have a history of producing damage. We have a confirmed touchdown in South Franklin Township. Through, and again, debris at least 8,000 feet into the air from the radar in Pittsburgh has detected. So this was a strong tornado that did touch down while it was on the ground for sure. Now, and again, signs are now pointing that this is weakening. Still the threat is there, but we are seeing signs that this is weakening, and that's a good news that perhaps at 9 o'clock this warning will be allowed to expire and maybe continuing downstream with severe thunderstorm as opposed to tornado. But again, this is still, as of now, a threat of producing a tornado. The signs are not there that it's confirmed. So even though the warning tag still says confirmed, I don't feel confident saying confirmed at this point because the debris signature is not there. The rotation couplet's not as strong, and the hook echo is not as strong either. So those of you west of I-79, again, you have the all clear here. So those of you back towards Amity, those of you back towards Baker Station, you're fine. Those of you, though, in Bakers, I want you to hold in where you are. Marianna, I want you to still be in your safe place. Deemston, I want you to still be in your safe place. Same thing with Lone Pine. So, again, this is the area we're concerned with. Again, here's our rotation. It actually looks like it is trying to outrun it just a little bit. Again, Marianna, you're right here. And so, again, if there is rotation, it is somewhere in here. And, again, notice it's still not looking as impressive as it once did. That's the good news. Again, we want to see a weakening sign. It looks like it is morphing into a little bit more of a wind threat, which is our primary threat today. So that looks like what this is becoming. Again, the wind is not as strong, so we unchecked that box. We were looking at debris earlier. We're not seeing a drop into yellows or blues or oranges, indicating that there's something that's not rain lofted in the air. That's a good sign, which means that if there is a tornado, it may not be on the ground or it has severely weakened. That's a good sign. And then again, we also look for a hook, and we're not really seeing one quite as well here. We have air coming into the storm, but not necessarily wrapping around here on the backside. So that is a good sign. Signs are indicating that this is likely a weakening storm at this point. Again, there still could be a tornado on the ground, though, because as storms weaken, they have a tendency, especially with one still on the ground, it kind of holds on for a little bit and then lifts or dissipates. So that doesn't mean we take this less seriously, but it is a sign that perhaps the threat is coming to an end at least. So those of you in Marianna especially, I need you to be in your safe places. This is right about to be on top of you. Again, you're next in line with this. Those of you along and west of I-79, again, you're fine. Those of you along I-70 now, you're fine. Those of you in Bakers, Lone Pine, and 10 Mile, in fact, I think you can say you're fine as well. This is now becoming Marianna near Lone Pine Road, Cemetery Road, kind of next in line here where this is moving. As this is continuing, again, this is moving east at about 25 miles per hour. So let me zoom this back out just a little bit here and kind of reset for those of you who may be downstream from this potential next in line here. So again, our storm that we are concerned with is sitting back here. Let me grab a storm track, because again, this is moving east about 25-30 miles per hour. Let's split the difference, call it 27. So this is where this is heading next line. Again, the warning is until 9. We'll see if the Weather Service extends this or not. They have not made a decision yet. But if they do, next line, again, Deemston, you're coming up here right at about 9 o'clock. The storm expects to be over top of you as our warning expires. Luzerne is next, West Brownsville, and California. Though California, I think it would be more of a hail threat at this point as opposed to the tornado threat. Again, if you can see where you are when the tornado is, if the track holds. Again, there may be some shifting. So California down to Brownsville, down towards Cardell, back to Luzerne and Deemston. You're next in line with this once this gets out of Marianna. So I want you to be thinking about getting to your safe place as well, just in case they extend this warning. That way you are prepared should the storm head towards you, because again, this has a history of producing, it has produced a tornado, it has produced damage, and so we need to take this warning very seriously with the storm because it has a history of producing damage. So again, those of you along I-70 in Washington County, you're fine. Along I-79, you're fine as well. This is heading now towards the Mon River. So that's any of you in the community along the Mon River from California southward. You're next in line with this, whether you're on the Fayette County side or the Washington County side, you're next in line with this. So the National Weather Service here has issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for hail and wind, and so that is the downstream warning. So that's what they have decided to go with. That's the warning I was waiting for. This goes until 9:30, and so this is the storm that we are watching out of Washington County is going to become a severe thunderstorm warning until 9:30, which will include the counties including this are Washington, Fayette, Greene, and Westmoreland counties, although this will mostly end up being a Washington and Fayette County problem. This warning, the severe thunderstorm warning, does include California, so that includes Penn West, California. It includes Brownsville, and it includes 40 and 43 all the way down to Uniontown. Uniontown, you are included in the severe thunderstorm warning, along with western parts of Dunbar. Connellsville, though, you are not included inside of this new severe thunderstorm warning. So the National Weather Service seems like they have agreed with my assessment here that the storm is weakening, and they have decided to go now with severe thunderstorm warning. And I don't believe they tagged tornado possible either. I believe this is just severe severe thunderstorm warning for wind and hail. Let me double check the threats. Yes, it is just for wind and hail. So $half sized hail and wind to 60 miles per hour. So the tornado threat with this storm is now officially coming to an end. They've decided to go severe thunderstorm warning downstream. Still, though, winds to 60 miles per hour are possible. So you want to take this threat very seriously. Don't be outside. Be inside and kind of hunker down and ride this storm out. So let me give you a reset here, and then we'll let you go since they have decided to go severe thunderstorm warning. So we still do have a flood warning that is in effect for parts of Allegheny, Butler, Armstrong, and Westmoreland counties. That goes until 11 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm warning for Indiana County goes until 9:15, although most of that threat is now in the north central Cambria County near Evansburg. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Westmoreland and Fayette counties until 9:15. That's for a different storm. And we have the now new severe thunderstorm warning until 9:30 for Washington, Greene, Westmoreland, and Fayette counties. This is for the storm that produced the tornado warning, and that has now been decided to be downgraded to severe thunderstorm warning. And good news, they did not tag a tornado possible, which means they believe that the rotation has weakened enough that it is no longer a threat of producing a tornado. But again, we do have confirmed a tornado did touch down in South Franklin Township, Washington County. The National Weather Service will be surveying to assess the damage and assign a rating, but we know that debris was lofted up to about 8,000 feet, and so they will be doing a survey likely tomorrow. So we do at least have a confirmed touchdown in Washington County. The tornado threat, though, now has ended. I'll be here, though, through the evening to keep you updated, and if needed, I'll be back to provide you with live updates. Until then, though, we'll see you next on Pittsburgh's Action News 4 at 11. We'll return you to regularly scheduled programming.
We now return you to programming.